It's recording. All right. Hello, guys. Your father is back. And guess who I have with me?
Instinct. What's up, y'all? What's poppin'?
Yeah, it's been a while since I've done a collab with just one other person, but we're switching things up a bit. So why don't you explain to them what we are debunking today? I mean, you can see it on screen, but you know.
Yeah. Well, what we are debunking today is a guy named Clockwork Highlander. Some of y'all may know him, some of y'all might not know him. He makes a lot of questionable matchups, to say the least. Which rarely, if any of them, are like interesting, and most of them are just clear stops, so it doesn't make any sense at all. But look, I don't know, we don't like know the guy that much. I'm pretty sure he's a cool guy outside, but when he does like these kind of videos, it's just disgusting.
Yeah, so the specific video that we're going to be talking about today is his SCP-682 versus Cthulhu video. Now, this matchup on its own would be interesting. It's just the way that he goes about it. And spoiler alert, he does say that Cthulhu wins, but just ahead of time, this isn't to say explain to us why 682 would win. It's not like that, okay? We're explaining why this video sucks. So I'm not gonna give you the outcome. I mean, if you want my basic 2 cents on it, I'll give that later, but right now we're just focusing on the flaws with this video and how he goes about it. So before we begin, as always, please do not harass this guy. I do not condone that, but anyways, all
right,
do you have it on your screen?
Yes, I do. Let's play it. Yep. Here we go.
And welcome back to Who Would Win. We're rounding out the week of Who Would Wins, though it'll obviously continue on a little bit in the next week. With this one from Mags Hanso. What's the question? Who win in a fight, Cthulhu or SCP-682?
Oh yeah, sorry to pause the video, but I forgot to tell y'all this, but most of these matches are like requests from like his followers or fans or from other people, and most of them wouldn't make sense. So yeah, just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
Now, Cthulhu, I can easily go rattle off all the things Cthulhu can do, or the majority of things Cthulhu can do. SCP-682. Now, for those of you who are unaware what that stands for, it stands for Special Containment Procedures, or Secure, Contain, Protect. The SPC Foundation is a fictional organization. I don't believe they're actually. It's like a book series or something like that. It's a complicated thing. I don't know a great deal about them. Sorry, I thought he was calling up to for some reason. My dad.
Hold on, can you pause it for a second?
Basically, it's dealing with.
Okay, that little part right there, like, can't you just edit that out? I mean, this wasn't live. He obviously has like an editing software based on the thumbnail, so can't you just edit that stuff out?
I don't think he knows how to. So I don't know.
I mean, just like ahead of time, just a warning ahead of time, he does get off topic like a lot. So if you like those kind of nitpicks, you're in for a hell of a ride here. Anyways, continue.
Yep.
Individuals, creatures, supernatural things that pose a threat to natural order and society, things along those lines. It's their job to secure, contain, and protect. If they have to destroy something, they will. Otherwise, they're designed to, study and contain. Now, SCP Subject 682 is known as basically the unkillable reptilian monster. Basically, as it's described, it's a very large, vaguely reptilian-like It appears to be extremely intelligent and was observed to engage in complex communications with another SCP, codename 79.
Pause.
Time of exposure. It appears to have a hatred of all life, which has been expressed in several interviews during containment. He has always been observed to be extremely high strength, speed, and reflexes, though exact.
Okay. Clockwork, we don't need to know about. Okay, I pause it. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
All right.
But yeah, as you were saying.
All right. As for what Clockwork just said, Clockwork, this stuff is irrelevant to whether or not to how strong 682 is and whether or not he can beat Cthulhu. You don't need to tell us like, oh, what his special containment procedures are, or like how like the Foundation treats him or anything. We don't need to know about that. That's irrelevant.
Yeah.
The video is called SCP-682 versus Cthulhu. If you're going to title your video as that, then that's what we want to know about, not the containment procedures.
Yeah.
Anyways.
The levels vary from its form. This being body physically grows and changes very quickly, growing or decreasing in size as it consumes or sheds material. Gains energy from anything it ingests, organic or inorganic. Digestion seems to be aided by a set of filtering gills inside of its nostrils, which are able to remove unstable matter or able to remove usable matter from any liquid solution, enabling it to consistently regenerate from the acid that it is contained in. Its regenerative capabilities are resilient, and resilience are staggering, and has been seen moving and speaking with its body 87% destroyed or rotten. In case of containment breach, it is to be tracked and captured by all available mobile task force. Blah 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 blah.
And now
basically, this being must be destroyed. And I'm reading this verbatim. Must be destroyed as soon as possible.
Now he's just
yeah. As we both said.
Go on.
Yeah. Yeah, like as you said, he's just rambling on to like irrelevant like points that has nothing to do with the video at all.
Like, dude, if you're not gonna edit your videos, at least write a script so that you can stay on topic. I mean, I know.
Yeah.
Like, if you have trouble staying on topic, then just write a script and read from it. That's all you have to do. And I know we're not using a script, but that's because we don't have trouble staying on topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let us continue, shall we?
Yeah.
Possible. At this time, though, no means available to the SCP teams are capable of destroying this thing. Only able to cause massive amounts of physical damage. Should be contained within a 5-meter.
Okay. How loud am I? I am just fine. Okay. Continue. Here.
By 5-meter chamber with 25-centimeter reinforced acid resilient steel plate lining all surfaces. The containment chamber should be filled with hydrochloric acid until this being is submerged and incapacitated. Any attempt by the being to move, speak, or breach containment should be reacted to quickly and with full force as called by the circumstances. Personnel are forbidden to speak to this individual for fear of provoking a rage state. All unauthorized personnel attempting to communicate with it will be restrained and removed by force. Due to its frequent attempts of containment breach, difficulty of containment, incapacitation, and high threat of Foundation.
And here he goes again.
Just rambling.
God damn, I swear like 1/3 of the video isn't even about the fight. Like, I said this before.
Right?
I said this before to you, Clockwork, and I'm gonna say it again. Do not waste our time with irrelevant shit. Like, I think Nothing even talked about this in his newest debunk on Clockwork, but if you want, I can link that just to show that he still has this problem. But basically, like, Clockwork, we don't care about that shit right now. Like, if you want to make a video, if you want to make a video like explaining like the containment procedures, then make that its own video. don't put it in a video titled SCP-682 versus Cthulhu, who would win? That's just a waste of time. Anyways.
Exposure has been contained on site, and that's been redacted. Error may will, and the Foundation will use the best of its resources to maintain all land within 50 kilometers of that. So this is a being that highly intelligent. I've seen like the videos, like the fan-made videos of the series, where it is actually talking with someone and having a conversation. And it is very intelligent, capable of definitely capable of speak. Regeneration, basically nothing that this team of operatives has is capable of harming it, but that's not to say you can't just atomize the damn thing with a bomb or something. And its size apparently does vary. It can grow or shrink depending on the size needed.
Okay. About what he just said, Clockwork, you do know 682 has survived nuclear explosions before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you said you can just atomize him, but he's survived that shit before. Plenty of times. And I'm just gonna say this ahead of time, he never brings up True Form 682. Like, if you're gonna make a video about 682 versus Cthulhu, and you want to make it interesting, why not include both of their true forms? Like so far, you've only been talking about one of his avatars, and even then, you've been downplaying it so far.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Like that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, like SCP, their cosmologies are insane.
Yeah, like
the verses are insane.
Yeah, and we may or may not do a video like specifically
those verses are at least stupidly high into like high outer, possibly even higher than that.
They are insanely high into high outer. Like there's no.
And that's just me downplaying.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue.
Yeah. Not a good sign.
Appearance-wise, and there's a picture I use. It's a picture that it's commonly available. It is reptilian in look, but its face looks almost skull-like. It has like fur and like bone on its tail is exposed. So it seems to be very dangerous, very powerful. Cthulhu obviously is an eldritch being from the Lovecraftian mythos. Now, Cthulhu is not actually an elder. He's like a priest, a bishop. He's like a representative of the elder gods. He himself is not an elder.
Okay, first of all, Cthulhu is not an elder god. He's a great old one. Second of all, he is a god. Just because he's the priest for those gods doesn't inherently mean he isn't a god himself. Like, I don't know where you're getting that. I mean, he is one of the weaker god tiers in the verse, but he's a god tier nonetheless. Anyways.
God. The elder gods are essentially like extra-dimensional alien-esque beings whose presence is so distortion of reality that our normal mortals' presence we can't comprehend it. So we either die, go crazy, or our head would explode, or our eyes burst out of our skulls. But Cthulhu has massive amounts. First off, Cthulhu's actual size can vary, but he's generally considered somewhere in like the kaiju level range of like size. Like he dwarfs certain cities, skyscrapers, mountains, all that.
Okay. Hold on.
Okay.
All right. So.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
All right.
My bad.
Two things here. One, this is not true form Cthulhu. It's very clearly stated that the Cthulhu we see is just what our minds can perceive. It's just an insignificant tip of what he really is. It's just like an abstract in Marvel.
Literally.
Yeah, and 2, even then he can still change his size. Like, I don't remember what the source for this was. Don't quote me on this, but I remember hearing from somewhere that, like, if he were to stand at the bottom of the ocean, his head would still be above the surface. So yeah, you're downplaying even in that regard. Anyway.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And anyways,
he's capable of flight, as he does have wings. He's capable of mass psychic abilities like hypnosis, telekinesis, things along those lines, reality warping on some levels. He is also very intelligent, despite the fact that he's not 100% evil, despite what many people think, but he's not good. He's like a neutral, because he's kind of a representative of the elders in some ways.
Nobody, look, Clockwork, nobody cares about that. Get to the fight already.
We don't need to
like,
know.
At least get to...
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I was saying, like, look, we don't care about none of that. None of the history. All we're caring about is, like, the stats and, like, how the fight will go down. That's the purpose of what versus battles are.
Yeah, we don't need to know whether he's evil or not. That can be its own video.
Literally.
Like we don't need to know, we don't need to know whether or not he's evil. We don't need to know what he does at 3 a.m. in the morning. We don't need to know what he scrubs. We don't need to know what he scrubs his tentacles with. We don't. Okay, you get the joke, but okay. The point is, I've said this again, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Do not waste our time. Just script your shit. It's not that hard. Anyways.
Right. All right. Let's continue.
He's more like a neutral evil. He's not like chaotic, but he's still more like.
My God.
If you stay out of it, assuming you're not driven crazy, your eyes didn't blow out of your skull, or your head didn't blow up, or you died.
He's still going.
What? What was that?
He's still going.
That right there was cringy. The way he laughed. Oh my gosh.
Oh God.
Please help me. Oh please, Lord Christ in heaven. Whew.
Wake me up inside. Okay.
If you were to stay out of his way, he actually probably wouldn't care about you. But if you even just try to be like, yeah, but he knows you, he would kill you. So yeah, Cthulhu's a weird guy in that sense. But yes, Cthulhu is essentially what he would be, a horrifying apocalyptic event if he ever existed. So who wins in this fight? Well,
finally,
the thing about this is that right off the bat, SCP, or let's just say 682, we'll just go with 682 for short. 682 doesn't have anything that can take down Cthulhu, particularly at the size he would. Now, he's much larger than your average person.
What?
Okay, I'm just gonna say this here, Clockwork. Okay, let's just ignore the fact that you're using an avatar here. You do realize 682's main avatar. You do realize he has fought things bigger than him before, right? Like I'm just saying, like, for example, his fight with the Gate Guardian. If you want, I'll link that. I'll link a video about that in the description, like after this video is uploaded. But basically, like, the Gate Guardian was several times bigger than that specific avatar of 682, and it wasn't just like an instant kill due to size like that. I mean, yeah, the Gate Guardian won, but it wasn't just an insta kill like he seems to be implying. Plus, 682 wasn't really fighting; he was more just mocking the Gate Guardian, and even then, none of that really matters since it wasn't true forms for 682 or the Gate Guardian, so I don't get what your point is here. Maybe he's just ignorant on the source material, but the point still stands.
Easy, 20, maybe 30 feet long on average, probably. But just so I get the computer right. Here's him. Oh, scale that back. Basically, my finger might be 682 in a good day for like size. Though he probably doesn't have any set determination of growth how big he can get. He could probably get as big as he really want to, but it's by consuming things. So he had a little catch-22 that he would need to eat a lot. But here's him, and I'm Cthulhu. There's the immediate problem with this match is that nothing that the Foundation has can kill this thing, but
Okay. Okay, first of all, he can't even do a joke without getting off topic.
Crazy, bro.
That is fucking sad. Second of all, as I stated before, none of this really matters because that isn't 682's true form. Like, in fact, before you continue, I have a scan pulled up right here. Is it showing? Yes, it is. Okay. Yeah, I'm showing all this stuff right here, and like after this video is done, I'll link it all in the description. But the point is, all of those scans show that 682 is way more even with Cthulhu than Clockwork makes him out to be. I mean, whether or not 682 can win, I won't say. I'll leave that up to you. But if you want like my basic 2 cents on it, I think it's pretty debatable and it could probably go either way. But that's just right off the bat. But anyways.
All right, let's continue.
Cthulhu honestly could just be like, or just rip him apart into just bloody shreds or whatever.
What?
Now, with that being said, let's be fair and scale him up.
Okay, Clockwork. Okay, what you just said is so blatantly wrong. 682 can regenerate. The entire reason he's known as like the unkillable lizard is because it's because whenever something like almost kills him, he adapts to it and becomes immune to it. He's just like Doomsday, except he doesn't need to die to adapt. It wouldn't just instantly kill him like that. I mean, yeah, it would hurt him, but he could regenerate from it. Like, that's the point. In fact, one of the best displays of this was when he had like 80% of his body blown to bits and he still regenerated from it, and I think he laughed at it too.
Literally.
Like, tearing him to pieces alone is not enough. But anyways.
Assuming he can eat enough to get to at least something of a similar size to Cthulhu, let's do that matchup. Now, first off, this 682, how would he respond to just the presence of Cthulhu? Well, seeing as most of the things in the whole SCP Foundation seem to be of some sort of unknown origin, meaning there might be supernatural elements to it, interdimensional elements to it, things along those lines. I have to go under the belief that, from a mental perspective, his mind is definitely different than ours. It probably could perceive Cthulhu without too much ill effect on him, I guess would be the term.
He would perceive Cthulhu. There's no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was able to perceive the Gate Guardian, who's one of the strongest of the low elder gods. And for those of you who don't know, the low elder gods literally transcend the tree of knowledge, which is a high hyperversal structure, possibly an outer versal structure from some of the things that I've heard. But like the point is,
you can
go ahead.
There's some people actually got to like higher and like way higher into like high outer.
Yeah, like even with the lowest level god tiers, which obviously would include 682, as you'll see from like the scans when they're in the description, you can easily get 682 and those god tiers to easily several layers into outer versal, arguably high outer versal if you really want to go there.
Yeah.
So, like SCP is way stronger than people give it credit for.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly you. But anyways, continue.
Yeah.
But even still, even seeing Cthulhu would still probably get him in like a rage fit. Like Cthulhu represents something like this is the competition to him that actually threatens him. So, he would maybe lurk around, then eat enough that he could grow big enough to take on Cthulhu. So in a relative kaiju to kaiju fight, who wins in this? Well, again, 682's regenerative capabilities are going to play a big factor in how long he can last in the fight. So, he comes in, bites down on Cthulhu, but Cthulhu actually has arms, so he can grab him and toss him. So, boom, and, he gets back up, and, they square off, and Cthulhu's just like, he's a little shocked that there's another being on this planet that's kind of his size and power. So, but he quickly just gets out, it's like, he's paving the way for the elders to come, so he just builds he's going, and I would imagine that because of the nature of 682, telepathy, like psychic control, mind control, wouldn't work on him. And so he's kind of more of an intelligent but primal individual. So I don't think it would affect him in the same way. Plus, he'd be blinded with anger and things along those lines. And he has enough probably willpower to just knock that off. So it comes and charges at Cthulhu, who then just grabs him, then uses telekinesis to further open his jaws up and just splits him in half. But his regenerative capabilities start kicking in. Cthulhu doesn't really notice this and just walks away.
Now he brings it up. Hey, to all the people out there watching, count up in the comment section how many times this guy contradicts himself. Make like a tally of that.
Wait, then he just kind of finally reforms, just comes in, bites down on Cthulhu, and just rips a wing off. Cthulhu's now pissed, just whatever Cthulhu would say. I think Cthulhu can actually, he speaks like, I know there is actually a language they speak. It's like, oh god. It's not like the elder speak, it's like something mouth or something tongue. But anyway, and they finally just, he grabs him and just...
What?
Okay. This isn't even funny. It's cringe.
Literally. Like, I'm done.
Oh god.
All right, let's continue.
His content is so cringe, and I love it.
Finally brings him up. He probably even reforms his wing in some way, flies up, just takes these guys into the atmosphere. And because Cthulhu is an alien-esque being from an inner dimension, I'm pretty confident he can survive space. And then just throws SP into, or 682, either into the sun where he just incinerates, or just leaves him floating in space. And then just goes back down.
Throwing 682 into the sun wouldn't do shit. Okay.
I'm done.
He seriously just said that you can kill 682 by throwing him into the sun. Okay, Clockwork. Let me tell you about something. Okay, again, there will be a scan for this in the description, but basically, at one point, the Foundation tried to rewrite the story with author's intent, okay? And they tried to kill it to 682, but 682 literally resisted author's intent and killed the creature that was supposed to kill him. Do you really think the sun is going to kill him when he can do that? Plus, even then, the Gate Guardian has a sword which is way stronger than the sun. And And his sword didn't even kill 682, not Cthulhu. But, I mean, yeah, it knocked him unconscious, but it didn't kill him. Like, at the most, it just damaged his tissue a bit, and even then, he did regenerate from it, but anyways, continuing.
Yeah.
Wreaks havoc on humanity. First off, Cthulhu honestly wins the fight over all the time if you're just dealing with the standard size of this guy, who's probably somewhere between 20 and 30 feet, if I were to guess. But even if you were to scale him up, this guy doesn't have anything ultimately as on an offensive level that could take Cthulhu down. Cthulhu is probably just as intelligent as this guy, if not more intelligent. He's probably much older than him, I would guess. I don't know for certain. He's actually has arms for grabbing. He has psychic abilities, which, as far as we know, this being doesn't. And he does have the ability to fly and move, so he would just have to really.
You do know 682 can shapeshift to a degree, right?
Mm-hmm.
He can just grow arms. Like, he's grown tentacles and horns before, so surely he can grow something as simple as an arm. Like, did this guy seriously do so little research that he didn't even bother to think about that?
Really, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Time until he got fed up and just tossed him into space and out of the atmosphere. So unless he gets a bite on the neck and just cracks Cthulhu's neck or something, even then there's no guarantee that would kill him. Ultimately, it's got to be Cthulhu. Cthulhu's got to get.
Okay, hold on.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, hold on. Did he say that throwing 682 into space would kill him? Clockwork. You do realize that 682 at one point grew so big that he was flying through the solar system and eating entire planets, right? He was in space when he did that. And it did not kill him.
Crazy. And here's another thing Clockwork said. He said unless 682 can bite Cthulhu's neck and kill him, how is that going to kill Cthulhu?
It wouldn't. Like, you do realize 682 once had his head split clean in half and was completely fine afterwards, right?
Yeah. And I feel like the thing that 682 can bite Cthulhu's neck, how's Clockwork? I don't know what you've been doing.
I mean, I don't know what kind of drugs you're on, but please send me some in the mail.
Right?
Win. So for that, and because there's no guarantee that would even kill Cthulhu, the neck crack, I can't say he even gets a 5% win. I gotta go Cthulhu 100% of the time in both scenarios. One, obviously, the other. But what do you think? Do you think there is a way for the SCP-682 to win the fight? Do you think Cthulhu wins ultimately overall?
Okay, so that's basically the end of the video. So, what do you say you give your overall thoughts?
I'm just gonna say I expected this because this is Clockwork we're dealing with.
Yeah, his scaling is hilariously bad.
But the thing is, it's in a good way hilarious, not even like the disgusting way.
Yeah, like I'm just gonna say this. There is one redeeming quality about his content. It's that it's so bad that it's like in a so bad that it's good way.
Yeah.
And it was funny, but ironically. So.
Ironically, yeah.
Yeah.
Ironically.
But on a serious note, like, I said this before and I'm gonna say it again because I know that some people are gonna use this argument. We are not saying that 682 beats Cthulhu, nor are we saying that Cthulhu beats 682. We're not saying anything about the outcome here. Because we don't necessarily, as of right now, I don't necessarily agree nor disagree with the outcome. As I stated, I think it's pretty debatable and could probably go either way. But what a lot of people don't understand is that when you're making a debunk on something like this, it's not necessarily the outcome that you should be focused on. It's the way that they go about the information.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the information is wrong, even if the outcome is right, it should still be debunked.
Yeah.
Like, and I know I said this before, claiming that throwing 682 into space would be enough to kill him.
I don't know where he got that idea. That baffled me.
Yeah, and anyways, but jokes aside, I think that's all for today. So, what do you have to say to my audience?
All right. Make sure to like up this video, share it with your friends, your girlfriend, your wife, your even your family.
Yeah. Be sure to get you some bitches and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any bitches in your family, please give them to us. We really appreciate it. You know I had to do that joke.
Yeah, I know.
Anyways, so
Without further ado,
that is all for today. Michael is no longer here.
instinct is already gone. Now peace.
Peace.
Are you end the recording?
Oh, okay. Did it stop recording?
Oh, wait. Didn't you screen record?
Oh, I forgot. I thought it was the bot. Crap.